Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of my poker vlog. I'd like to thank everyone for the support and the messages that I got from the first video. I'm going to try to keep these uploads weekly. I'm not sure what day, it's just whenever I finish editing the videos. But yeah, I want to be more consistent and stay on top of it. In this one, we play at DYRSL. It's a 1-1 cash game. We buy in, we run pretty good, and then we end up in a mega punt at the end of the video. So stay tuned, stay around for that hand. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it, and we'll jump straight into the action. Okay, so first hand of the video, I missed the action, but we've got someone going all in for $29. I peel pocket sixes and I decide to make a call. Folds around to the low jack, who calls for $29 as well, so we went 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes out pretty scary for my pocket sixes. It comes out 9, 5, 8, 2 hearts. So I'm sitting there with third pair, but it checks through, and then bink, we hit a 6 on the turn. We decide to protect or get some value from ace X, so I end up leading out for $35. The low jack isn't happy and ends up making the fold. Once he mucks his cards, the all-in player shows that he has pocket queens. So we've sucked out major, hitting a set. We decide to run it once and we hold. Hitting a set in our first hand of the night is showing good signs to come, raking in this $88 pot. Let's see if we can keep the momentum going as we peel ace 10 off on the button. We have a limper and we decide to raise it up to $5. The small blind folds, the big blind calls, and the hijack calls for $5. We won 3 ways to a flop. And we flop trips. Flopping 3 of a kind here as it gets checked over from the big blind. This is a pretty strange line. The hijack actually decides to lead out. This guy's a bit of a crazy player, so instead of re-raising him here, I'd rather let him keep bluffing off. On the deuce turn, I start to think that he may have a straight draw or a flush draw, as he leads out a bit bigger now for $12. I think it's time to bump it up here and protect my hand and also get some value from some worse 10x. So we raise him 3x here. We end up raising to $36. The hijack doesn't look happy as he quickly folds his cards. And we're going to be taking down that pot, showing everyone the goods. $76 pot come my way. On this table, we decide to play a double board PLO bomb pot. Every time there's a monotone flop, meaning that all the cards are of the same suit. We've got our hand here, and the board comes out ace 2 5, ace queen 9. Sitting with 2 pair on the bottom board, knowing that there's an ace on the other board, I feel comfortable leading out here, knowing that I'm only beat on that board by combos of ace 9 or sets of 9s and sets of 5, which is pretty unlikely having both of those cards in my hand. I lead out for $20 and it folds around. We get the big blind and the cutoff to call. Go into the turn of 9 of diamonds and jack of spades. So on the top board, we've actually upgraded to 2 pair as well. But on the bottom board, we stay with our 2 pair. The board's getting a bit more straighty, so we decided to keep leading out here. Maybe trying to fold our worst 2 pairs, knowing that flush draws already are winning the top board. We get the cutoff to call again, the big blind folds. We're going to the river, which is the 10 of spades and the king of hearts. So now, sitting with 2 pair on the bottom board, we're actually pretty vulnerable now. So I actually decide to bluff. I get snapped off and I'm expecting to lose this majority of the time, figuring out the way that he's been calling down, the way that I've been playing the hand. But he only shows a straight on the bottom board, meaning that my 2 pair is good. And we're going to be chopping that pot, so $167 come my way. As you can see, I'm peeling this absolute monster, 2-7 offsuit. And for those that don't know, there's a game called the 7 deuce game, and if you win a hand with this hand specifically, everyone at the table has to pay you a bounty. It could be $5, $10, but in this game we're playing 5. So as we peel this, we have a raise to $8. I decided to bump it up to 40, trying to take the pot down where it is. It folds back around to the cutoff, who calls for $40. I check the cards just to make sure that the monster's still there. We deal out the flop and it comes out pretty good for my raising range, ace, ace 9. The cutoff checks and I elect to go all in for the rest of my remaining stack. Funny enough, in this spot, once I do, the cutoff asks me if we're going to run it once or twice. Knowing that I'm probably not good here with 7 high, I elect to use some wordplay to try and persuade him not to call. We'll go to the video to hear what happens.
What do you mean, how many times? You have flush draw?
Yeah.
Don't call.
Really?
I flopped it.
I trusted this one time, but I'm
Yeah.
As soon as he ends up folding his cards, I snap show the 7 deuce, claiming my bounty from the rest of the table, leaving a lot of unhappy customers here, knowing that the game is fully opened up and bluffing is fully available on this table. In this next hand, we pure ace 10 of hearts. The action comes around to the hijack who raised to $15. I decide to call in position. The big blind carves out a raise of $50. The middle position player calls, the hijack calls, and I end up calling to close out the action, heading to a flop. The flop comes out pretty good, ace 2-4 rainbow. The big blind decides to check, and it ends up checking around to me. Sitting with top pair, good kicker here. I debate whether to raise or not. Then again, thinking that if the big blind was out of position with a strong ace, he'd probably be setting up a check raise here. So not wanting to be blown off my hand or my equity, I decided to check it back here for a bit of pot control. Heading to the turn card, which is the 4 of clubs. Now the big blind decides to lead out, so my fears about him having a good strong ace with a good kicker is confirmed, but not being able to fold an ace just yet, we decide to flick in the call, seeing the river in position, knowing that if he leads out strong, we will be making a tight fold. Heading to the river now, which comes out the big 10 of spades. We've luck boxed our way into a sneaky 2 pair, hoping that he does have a better ace now, knowing that we are now in front of that. The big blind checks here, indicating that he's not sure about the 10, so I decided to go all in for my remaining $149. The big blind disgusted about the run out, doesn't look too happy, and ends up going to the tank for a while here. I'm not sure if he's putting me on ace 10. If he is, this is a genius play, and this might be one of the best folds ever. But he does end up flicking in the call. I show him the ace 10, and he ends up showing me pocket kings, which is very interesting. I think the way that I checked the flop made it a bit more disguised that I had an ace, and on this river with the 10, I think my opponent thinks that I can be bluffing a 10x here into this pot, seeing as I played it passive on the flop. So here I am getting the full double up, raking in this $605 pot. Okay, so into our next hand, we peel king queen offsuit in the big blind. There's a raise to $10 and I call, completing it. Going to a flop of 6 queen 3 rainbow, flopping top pair good kicker. I check first out of position. The hijack C bets for $30, which is around a pot size bet. So the cutoff folds, the bottom folds, the big blind ends up putting in the call, and I end up sticking in the call as well. Going to the turn, which is the 4 of clubs, so a few straight draws complete. There's now a backdoor flush draw. We check it back over to the aggressor again, and he ends up checking it back. The jack on the river, we don't want this to check through, so we end up betting Cinco de Mayo, $55 into this pot here. The hijack ends up making a fold, and we get called by the big blind. So a bit of value here. We show our queen, and he says we're good. $250 pot come my way. Let's go. Okay, so for a bit of context here, this was literally Lockie's first hand that he sat down at the table with, running pocket aces into pocket kings. On the first run out, aces flops a set, so no good for kings there. And then on the second run out, aces flops another set, and then turns him dead to a full house. The guy stacking Lockie is my mate JT, absolute luck box. So in this hand we peel pocket nines, and up against this player, the Serbian tank, he raises to $16. The Serbian tank gets a bit out of line sometimes, so he decides to 3-bet his ass up to $45, hopefully getting it around to go heads up in position against him. And that's what it ends up doing, it ends up folding around. He puts in the call, heading to a flop of 10-6-8 rainbow. The Serbian tank ends up checking it over, and I bet $50 and we're taking it down. Thanks to the donation, $150 pot, uncontested, coming my way. And in this next hand, we are up against the Serbian tank again. Love versing this guy. He's a very fun action player. He ends up raising it to $30. We stick in the call knowing that we're going to be in position of him. So hopefully we'll be able to navigate our way post-flop. And the flop comes 4, 5, 10 rainbow. So it's a pretty dry board. He decides not to c-bet it. So I end up checking it back. And the turn brings on the jack of hearts. So we bink top pair, good kicker. And he ends up betting $30. We snap call, get our change back here. And then the river brings in the 4 of hearts. So any 4x that he could have gets there. I'm not sure what he has. So then I end up just checking it back, not wanting to get pushed off my hand. And we win. $132 come my way. Credit to the Serbian missile. This one here is my uncle's favorite hand, K9, for the doggies because he goes to the Canterbury Dogs. So shout out to him for playing this. We got a middle position raised to $15. The low jack calls. I end up putting in the call and then everyone folds around. We go to the flop of Queen 9-2, 2 spades. It checks around. I don't want to bet here for value in case someone check raises me, so I like to just check. On the turn, still sitting with second pair knowing that a queen would have bet. After the middle position bets for $22, the Serbian tank calls as well. I put in the smooth call knowing that I should be best here majority of the time. So then we're going to a river. We bink trips, 9 of hearts on the river. Great for us, hoping that they do bet again. But it does end up checking around to me and I go another Cinco de Mayo. Worked last time, hopefully we can get it this time. Shout out to Wolfgang. And it folds around. So it's fine taking another pot. It's 3 for 3 now. Getting up a bit of money, as you can see my stack's growing a bit. And into this next hand. With ace 3 of clubs here, the Serbian missile raises to $13. So we're going heads up to a flop of ace deuce 5. Sitting with top pair, gut shot, back doors. When he bets for $30, I end up putting in the call. The 7 of clubs comes, so we got the black draw, flush draw, but it does check through. Thinking that my ace is good here, knowing that he would have bet on the turn. Once he bets $30, I think we can do nothing else but call. And the Serbian tank shoots me down. Ace deuce he had, $160 pot going his way. Okay, so for the last hand of the night, we peeled 3, 5 of clubs. After a few limps, we decided to raise this up to $12, just getting in the mix, you know, changing things up a bit. We get a low jack call, and then we end up getting a high jack re-raise to $35. It folds back around, and we're going to put in the call, and so is the low jack. So we're going 4 ways to a flop of jack 4, 5, 2 hearts. Sitting here with second pair, I expect the pre-flop raiser to be betting this flop a lot, but the low jack ends up donking for $50. In my mind, I don't take this as a strong hand. I feel that she's drawing, so I do put in the call getting a bit sticky. And with the 2 of spades on the turn, I feel it's a pretty big brick. So I check again, not really thinking about folding to any bet here. So when she ends up betting out for $75, I still think my 5 is best here. I don't know if I should be folding, but I just had a live read that she wasn't that strong. When the 7 of hearts comes on the river, I have an absolute blunder. Not thinking that she has any really strong hands here, I decided to jam for some reason. I just really felt like she was weak the whole hand, and that the 7 of hearts would actually be better for me instead of her, knowing that I was the one being defensive, just calling down her bets in case she was being protective of her hand. But I just didn't put her on anything strong, so I ended up shoving into her, which looking back at it now is probably the worst thing I could have done, because the straight draw gets there, the flush draw gets there, but in my mind I just couldn't come up with hands that she would flat there that would have a straight draw to a 3 bet. So I shove, she doesn't take long before putting in the call, and my suspicions were right. She had 2, 3 of hearts for a flop straight flush draw, and she ended up getting there on the river and got me to shove into her because I'm a donkey. Massive pot going my opponent's way, $1,092 gone, getting stacked here, and that will end our session. So that's it. for that session. We were in the game for 1100 and we ended up cashing out for 590. So we booked a loss of 510. It was a pretty big session, a lot of sweats. We got up a bit and then, as you can see, or as you just watched, we mega punted at the end, all of our profit. So yeah, that's about it for the session. I'll get the next video uploaded soon. Like and subscribe. Thanks for all the support, guys. I'm going to keep trying to post weekly. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.